Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. APC trounces opposition in legislative by-elections. Retired federal workers to earn additional 32,000 naira monthly. Kwaso hands over 2 electric vehicles to Kwara government. DSS gets thumbs up for capturing most wanted terrorist leaders. 42 Chinese Filipinos convicted of cybercrimes deported. Fresh drive to tackle menace of out-of-school kids begins. ICRC unveils guidelines for PPP projects. And major investors eye stakes in insurance sector. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay, maybe I should just use the good news. The retired federal workers earn 32,000 monthly. So the president has approved a 758 billion bond to clear all outstanding pension liabilities. So under the contributory pension scheme, those who are subscribers will start to earn this baseline amount of 32,000. So everybody in the education, health sector, security, armed forces, as well, all of them on the contributory pension scheme, irrespective of what has previously accumulated, will start to get this baseline. So he directed the prompt implementation of this long overdue pension increases along with the minimum wage adjustment and the minimum pension guarantee, which will provide a safety net for most of the vulnerable pensioners under the contributory pension scheme. So one of the officials of the PENCOM confirmed to the nation this news, and I'm hopeful that this will of course ameliorate a lot of things concerning pensioners. There's another news of the NLC going on strike over the NSITF, but this is welcome. So let's see how it goes.
I have DSS gets thumbs up for capturing terrorist leader. So they say the Northern Ethnic Youth Group Assembly, NEGA, has praised the NSA, that's National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Rubadu, for confirming weeks of speculation on the capture of 2 most wanted leaders of terrorist group in Nigeria. So the National Security Advisor had announced the capture of the leadership of Ansaru terrorist organization, which is also known as Jama'atu Ansaru Muslimina Fi Biladis Sudan. This is Nigeria's Al-Qaeda affiliate and also the Mahmuda terrorist group. So the terrorist leaders are Amir Mahmoud Mohammed Usman, also known as Abu Bara, and Deputy Amir Mahmouda. They said that there had been speculations, all around. People had been speculating, is it true or not true? Last Tuesday, the governor of Niger State, sort of confirmed it, which I took the story, had confirmed it, but people were still waiting for like a proper official confirmation. And the NSA now announcing it, has confirmed that, and the public is very happy about it. This particular group says that these are terrorist leaders that have affected, that have, terrorized the North especially. And, they're happy to see that they have finally been arrested.
Okay. So the Nigerian Immigration Service has commenced the deportation of 192 foreigners who have been convicted of internet fraud and Ponzi scheme offenses. The first batch, comprising of 42 Chinese and Filipinos, they were flown out of Murtala Mohammed yesterday, and the next batch will commence in the next few days. They're going to take about 192. So right now 150 remains and will be flown out very soon. According to the EFCC, they were fined ₦1 million each by the court, which also directed that the NIS to repatriate them to their countries to complete their jail term. In July, the anti-graft agency had information on them that they were in Victoria Island, where they secured a final $222,000 digital assets seized from them. The foreigners were said to be using a building on Oyinjolayemi, just down the street, to train Nigerians on how to initiate romance and investment scams. According to the court, the company had put up a set of Gentin International Company Limited, and they had received 2.6 billion naira between April and December last year. So they're happy that these 192 are convicted and they're taking them to their country. I think this is a good, and I wish that when Nigerians are also convicted abroad, they should just brought back home.
No, I think this one should have served their term here.
Yeah. First,
you think?
yes. Because if we were
2 years.
Nigerians that
I'd
are
rather Nigerians
arrested
just-
abroad, they serve their term there,
Terms there.
and then they were
That's what I'm saying. Like,
deported.
if we can do that for them, they should also do that for us. Our people who are convicted.
No, what
should
we're
come home
saying
to
is that
to
it's
serve
too
them.
lenient. Punish
Very
them here.
lenient. Very fast.
Yeah, punish them
They might
here,
just get
and then
them
send them
the
to their country,
pardon.
and the country can decide what else to do with them.
Okay, moving on to the Punch. FG backtracks as NLC holds ground. Court orders full disclosure of 37 billion naira renovation by National Assembly. 2 Nigerians die of suspected poison in Libya. ICRC issues new PPP guidelines for MDAs. NCPC resumes Israeli pilgrimage with 50% subsidy. Court orders full disclosure. I think I took that already. APC opposition clash over by-election results in 12 states. And shipping crisis delays Dangote's 3,550 CNG trucks. Okay,
Okay,
let's
so
take a story.
the NCPC, that's the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, has announced that they would resume pilgrimage to Israel. They had initially, after the June 13 attack by Israel on Iran and the Iran, retaliation, announced that they will suspend all pilgrimage towards the Middle East, particularly Israel and Iran, to Israel. And they've now decided to lift that, according to the Secretary of the Executive Secretary of the NCPC. And he's also announced that 50% of pilgrimage costs will be taken over by the federal government. So pilgrims will only pay half of the total cost of pilgrimage, which is welcoming news. And I hope it doesn't incite the way the Hajj incites. There's a reason I took it. And I hope
sure
that
there
they
is.
are, safely taken to Israel and
We
back.
need to really discuss this pilgrimage
should
thing that we
incite,
do,
it
that
should
we
incite.
sponsor. We need to really discuss it. It's a conversation that must be had, but we'll take it another day. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. What's the
Yes,
story?
I have the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the National Assembly to release documents relating to the 37 billion naira renovation of the National Assembly complex. They said Justice Emeka Wite granted the application of the Human and Environmental Development Agenda HIDA Resource Center that filed the case through his lawyer. The court directed National Assembly to provide HIDA with the proposal, assessment and procedure used to arrive at the initial 37 billion naira estimate, the actual amount approved and allocated, and the amount so far disbursed for the renovation. They said that information sought was within the scope of the Freedom of Information Act and that the legislature had no valid reason to deny access. The information is simple and harmless. Where an institution like the respondent denies or is deemed to have denied an applicant the instant information sought, it will not only defeat the very purpose of the act, but encourage corruption and financial recklessness. I think this is amazing, So this is a civil society organization and is asking, media and all other CSOs, to join them in this sort of, quest, which is demand accountability from our public institutions. This will help us in the fight against corruption and also other financial recklessness. This is supposed to be information that is just out there, easy to access. Anyone who asks for it should be able to get it. So we're waiting on the National Assembly to see if they will fully comply with this court order.
Okay, so I have the major headline. The federal government has pledged to reverse deductions from the Employees' Compensation Scheme managed by the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund in order to ease tensions with the Nigerian Labour Congress following their threatening to go on a strike. Last week, the NLC accused the federal government of diverting 40% of the NSITF contributions to the government's treasury. The NLC said the move undermined workers' social protection and demanded both an immediate refund and full reconstitution of the National Pension Commission Board. It's warned that non-compliance would trigger an industrial action. The social insurance program was providing financial support to workers who suffer related injuries at work, illnesses, disabilities, or death. The scheme is funded entirely by employer contributions, typically around 1% of the monthly payroll with no contributions. So, I'm happy that the federal government is saying that they're going to soft pedal on this, their plan to deduct this fund. But I'm happy that Labour is also doing what they're supposed to do, which is putting pressure on government and not to wrongfully remove people's pensions. Okay, let me move on now to the Daily Sun. APC ADC clash over by-election outcome. 3 million naira bribe for bills. Serap tells Akpabio Abbas to refer allegation to anti-graft agencies. Ongoing reforms will take education out of wood, says Alausa. Lagos tops federal projects chart with 5 trillion naira in 2 years. Telcos under pressure as NCC cracks down on service failures and weak governance. Uncertainty over crude supply stalls modular refinery investments. Okay, next story.
Okay, let me do the NCC. So at a media interactive session, the NCC Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Aminu Meida, has said that this telecom operators will start to see a change. There'll be a serious crackdown. He says, so apart from the traditional enforcement that they've always used, there's a new model, a hybrid model that combines regulation with public disclosure. So from now on, they will create a portal that Nigerian users can go and see the performances of their telecom operators in provision of voice call services as well as data services, and see in real time and the location which network provider is performing. And so now they will be exposing them, not only the traditional regulatory method they've used, but any service provider that is lagging behind will also be exposed. And so if CEOs start to see that their names are not on the top of the list, maybe they will start to do better. So along with their governance reforms, they will start this by September 2025 and enforce a mandatory cybersecurity framework that compels operators to adopt baseline security standards. And this will address growing threats that is also such as phishing, scams, ransomware, and all of those data breaches that put millions of Nigerians at risk, along with the checks on them. So this is welcoming. We've been shouting. They said since the telecom operators were allowed their 50% tariff increase, they should have improved. And so Nigerians have been shouting on our consumer end. Thank you to NCC. We're watching them.
Yeah, and the federal government has announced sweeping reforms in Nigeria's education sector, including a unified fee structure for universities and full coverage of students' fees under the NEL fund, that's the Nigeria Education Loan Fund. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Olatunji Alausa, was one that disclosed these reforms in Abuja recently. He emphasized that the changes were made at improving transparency, fairness, and accessibility across higher institutions. He assured parents and students that NEL fund loans will fully cover all fees charged by tertiary institutions, including tuition, departmental charges, and other related costs. They said that the government will ensure that no student is denied access to education due to financial challenges. So he said the initiative is designed to create equal access to higher education, particularly for students from disadvantaged backgrounds, while easing financial burdens on families and guaranteeing uninterrupted learning. Now, on the broader reforms, Nigerian universities will soon operate under a standardized and unified fee structure. They'll eliminate arbitrary charges and inconsistencies across institutions. So I'm guessing this is just federal universities. I'm wondering how this will affect private universities, but yeah, so across all federal universities, I'm guessing unified fees structure for everyone. The loans that are supporting students, every fee will be clearly defined, transparent, and uniform across all universities. He also said that efforts to integrate artificial intelligence in classroom, deploy solar-powered infrastructure, provide tablets to teachers, and expand digital literacy for students is also being done. Local tech companies were already developing innovative tools to support these reforms. And so on and so forth. It just seems like we now have a proper guideline for what we're looking forward to in the educational sector.
Okay, so let me take the uncertainty over the crude supply stalls modular refineries. As many of us know, government has tried to encourage modular refineries to increase the crude supply and refining of our crude. However, investors are feeling that there's still a bit of an issue with it, because the decision, according to this report by Daily Sun, the findings reveal that more than 5 final investment decisions are currently in a limbo as investors are tread cautiously amid all the concerns about the sustainability of the crude supply. Remember, the Naira for crude was supposed to actually help make crude available for especially local players. Unfortunately, this has not been totally smoothened out, and many investors are very, very wary and shaky and cautious of this decision. They said that they're unclear about the return of investment if they eventually stake their resources in the refinery business. Their fears are accentuated by the fact that the ROI on refineries are very marginal and they might get their fingers burnt. Regrettably, the flip-flop in the implementation of the Naira for crude policy is equally a major disincentive to investment decisions on modular refineries have been edged out of the plan, leaving only the big players to participate. The federal government had wanted to initiate this to help the smaller players. I'm really hoping that they can resolve, because this was done about 2 years ago, where the president had mentioned the Naira for crude. Until today, modular refineries are still having issues getting the crude they need to refine. Okay, let's see our final paper, the Nigerian Tribune, I believe. Let's find a story we've not taken. APC consolidates ahead of 2027 race. Cyber criminals, EFCC immigration deport dozens of Chinese Filipinos. Customs intercepts containers loaded with 130 million naira expired pharmaceutical drugs. Estates of surveyors, others pick holes in new Lagos tenancy bill. Okay, which story?
Customs intercepts containers loaded with 130 million naira expired pharmaceutical drugs. So the Kirikiri lighter terminal of the Nigeria Customs Service at the weekend said its enforcement team intercepted 240-foot containers. Both were loaded with expired pharmaceutical products with a cumulative duty paid value of 130 million naira. So this was during a presentation of operational reports of the command, and this was done by Eosa Edo. She's the controller of the command, and she says that the command collected a huge sum through focused reforms, targeted enforcement activities, and practical strategies to boost compliance. And so there are so many measures also that have been put in place that have produced clear results and strengthened the command's ability to deliver on its mandate. She said the command recorded a total revenue collection of 89.2 billion naira. This is a substantial increase compared to the corresponding period in 2024, which was at 54.81 billion naira. So for the items that were seized, they said the item contravened provisions of the Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023 under import laws. So for me, it's good that this was found out, but does this have to do with getting? But it couldn't be anyway. I was just thinking out loud, but I was thinking, could this have to do with bringing in the pharmaceutical drugs, and then for some reason they are stocked while shipping, and by the time they get to Nigeria, the time we get to Nigeria is expired. But usually with pharmaceuticals, there's quite a about 5 years, nearly 10 years, before it's expired. So
okay, that's
good that it was caught on time before it went into the markets.
On Front Page Review, when we come back, on to our hot topic of today. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.